Hey gorgeous, today we're going to talk about what to do when everything is wrong and you just want to curl into a ball and give up. Let's get to it. Welcome to the Powerhouse. Vanessa Long here, coach, trainer, and creator of Discovering Your Passionate Purpose, Empower Your Goddess Voice, and the Business Building Foundations. It's time for your Mojo moment, in which I share one of my favorite quotes and then give you a power tip to take the inspiration and make it practical right away. For regular motivation, make sure you click the subscribe button and ring that bell. Our quote today is from Live Boldly by Mary Anne Radmacher, and we are on page 4, so we're right at the beginning. And she says, "Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, 'I will try again tomorrow.'" How beautiful is that quote? It's so luscious and so kind, and it is one of my favorite ways to tackle the everything is wrong, everything's been going wrong, and I don't know what to do to fix it dilemma that we all find ourselves in from time to time. I mean, let's be honest, when you're building a business, when you're just trying to get through life, there are moments when you just want to throw up your hands and say, I have no idea what's happening right now. What I've learned over the years is that sometimes we need to, what I call, take a mulligan. It's a term from golf, and it basically means you get a free shot. I'll start a day and get halfway through the morning, or start a week and get partway through the week and realize, things aren't really going the way that I thought they would, the way that I need them to. Everything feels forced and hard and like I'm slogging through cement. And what I'll do is I'll just stop and I'll take a nap and I'll reset and I'll give my unconscious mind the command of, when I wake up, I want this to be better. And what I find is that is what happens, that the unconscious mind will actually work on whatever dilemma, whatever problem, whatever challenge that I'm having. And when I wake up, I'm filled with new ideas, new ways to approach it, new possibilities, people to call, resourcing that I hadn't been aware of before. And with all my NLP training, what I think is actually happening is that it's like a new idea has been dropped into old neurology and it doesn't know where to settle. And so what happens when we sleep is it gives the unconscious mind a pause. It doesn't have to be monitoring everything that's going on because conscious mind is out of commission and can't cause trouble. And so the unconscious mind can go to work and stretch and rewire and move things around, create new neurological pathways that can hold this new idea. It actually changes our capacity. So sometimes you really do just need to take a mulligan, and there is nothing wrong with that. We hurt ourselves so deeply when we refuse to give ourselves rest. So what is self-compassion? Well, self-compassion is being with yourself and for yourself. I'm sure you've experienced this in the past where you've been with yourself, but you sure haven't been for yourself. You've been your own biggest critic, your own biggest enemy. And one of the things we need to learn if we want to become successful in life and successful in business, which means more than money, so much more than money, it means actually enjoying our life and our business. If we want to be successful, we need to figure out how to be for ourselves. Compassion is this idea of having concern for the misfortunes and problems of others. So when it's self-compassion, it's all about having concern for our own sufferings and problems. And that means giving ourselves grace, creating space for ourselves to actually do something new, to be still. And again, sometimes we need to power through our problems. We need to buckle down, nose to the grindstone, make magic happen. And sometimes the only way we can make magic happen is by stopping, walking away, and letting our unconscious mind go to work on that problem. And then the third thing about this quote is courage. What does courage mean? Usually when we think of courage, we think about going into battle, the person waving their sword and running down the hill and facing the foe. That is a type of courage. What we're talking about here is a very different kind of courage. Sometimes it can actually take more courage to cede ground, to back up and regroup before going back into battle. And when we feel watched, when we think people will notice that we have backed off to regroup, that can be really intimidating and very scary. We're afraid of how they'll judge us and what will they say. So courageous can actually be deciding that what we need is more important than what they think. And when we do this, it creates amazing space for our unconscious mind to do that regrouping, to look for new resources, to give us messages consciously about what direction we can go in. So when we're doing something new, when we're stretching out of our comfort zone, creating real change, a change that changes us as well as the world around us, we need to take pauses on a regular basis to allow our unconscious mind to catch up so that it doesn't slip into overwhelm and fear and then sabotage our journey. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is just pause. To learn the 7 steps to create real change in your world, check out the Powerhouse Success Cycle Checklist. It's linked in the description. What was your nugget of gold today? What did you learn, realize, or remember that you'll be able to use right away to make your life better? What is one way you could show your heart and your soul compassion today? What's one way that you could be kind to yourself? Let me know in the comments below so I can cheer you on. Help others to see this video by giving it a thumbs up, sharing it out with your Powerhouse peers, and if you haven't already, make sure you click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. And for those of you Mojo Masters who know to hang around all the way to the end of the video, here is your bonus power tip. How do we know which voice to listen to? How do we know which voice is the voice of wisdom that will take us forward and show us compassion? Or is it the voice of fear and ambition that is driving us forward and pushing us past our limits? The voice of wisdom is usually quiet. It's been referred to as that still small voice, that inner guidance that whispers to us and tells us that there is a better way, a kinder way, an easier way, and a simpler way. And it is very easy to miss or ignore that voice when fear and overwhelm and ambition are yelling at us and urging us to go forward quickly, to move as fast as possible, and warning us that if we don't keep running, something horrible will happen. Something huge will go wrong and the world will end with a giant bang. When we're in that clutch of fear, it's really hard to hear the small whisper that says, "Hey, gorgeous, just go to bed. Just shut it down. Get off of Instagram. Go to sleep." Or go snuggle with your sweetie, or go walk your dog, or go into the forest. We forget that we need to fill our wells when we're caught in that desperation and fear. The problem is that when we're stuck in that fear and desperation, the only solutions we'll come up with are at the vibration of fear and desperation. It's what we'll be putting out into the world, and therefore that's what the world will mirror back to us. So if you're figuring out which voice to listen to, I always suggest find the quiet one that is loving on you, that is being gentle and kind, and that makes you expand, that actually opens up your heart and your chest and says, it's okay, the world will not end. If you have a voice shouting at you that the world will end if you do this wrong, take a breath. Unless your hand is on the big red button, the world will not end if you go take a nap. And that's it for today's Mojo Moment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you want to create real change, get that Powerhouse Success Cycle checklist that's linked in the description, and I will see you in the next video.